GMNA uses artificial intelligence for generated speech, visuals, and production. AI-generated content may contain errors. Please verify important information before making decisions or taking action. Live from the GMNA News Center, this is the Lunch Break News Hour.
Good afternoon, I'm Jordan Parker. Police are still hunting the driver who struck a woman near Lansdowne and will keep you updated as details emerge. Traffic is light with only minor delays, and the Blue Jays take on the Royals tonight. Nathan, what do you make of that?
Our quick note today, the GMNA gift shop just opened, tiny but mighty, with 2 official mugs ready for anyone wanting a subtle brag.
If you're strolling downtown, swing by shop.gmna.ca. It's literally a storefront that fits on a coffee coaster, but it works.
The shop runs on quick e-com, so ordering those 2 mugs online is as easy as a single click, and new designs are promised soon.
2 mugs, a tiny space, big community pride, nothing wrong with starting small. Lots to get to, let's begin today. Here are our top stories.
Toronto police are searching for the driver of a vehicle that struck a woman just after 8:30 p.m. on August 26, near the intersection of Lansdowne and DuPont in the Wallace Emerson neighborhood. Simone Okonkwo has the full story.
Just after 8:30 p.m. on Saturday, a woman was hit by a vehicle at the intersection of Lansdowne and DuPont in Toronto's Wallace Emerson neighborhood. Police say the driver fled the scene and have launched a search for the suspect. Officers arrived to find the pedestrian on the sidewalk, unconscious, and receiving first aid from bystanders before paramedics took her to hospital. Witnesses reported a dark-colored sedan that sped away eastbound on Lansdowne. Detectives are reviewing nearby traffic camera footage and have asked anyone with information to contact police. No arrests have been made, and investigators continue to piece together the events leading up to the collision. Simone Okonkwo, GMNA News, Wallace Emerson.
Canada's Finance Minister François-Philippe Champagne will meet his Indian counterpart in Toronto later today to discuss bilateral trade and investment initiatives. Tobias Kwan has the full story.
Canada's Finance Minister François-Philippe Champagne is sitting down today with his Indian counterpart for a high-level meeting in downtown Toronto. Officials say the talks will focus on expanding trade ties, coordinating fiscal policy, and exploring joint investment projects, as both governments seek to deepen economic cooperation. The 2 ministers are expected to review recent agreements on technology exchange and energy collaboration, while also addressing regulatory alignment for businesses operating across borders. Diplomats note that the meeting follows a series of bilateral engagements earlier this year aimed at strengthening the partnership. The outcome could shape upcoming budgetary plans and influence future trade negotiations between the 2 nations. Industry leaders from both countries are watching the discussions closely, hoping for guidelines on cross-border financing. A statement is slated for release this afternoon. Tobias Kwan, GMNA News, Toronto. 3 vehicles ignited on Fairway Drive near Bellamy Road North and Lawrence Avenue East just before 1:30 a.m., prompting Toronto police and firefighters to investigate a suspected arson. Simone Okonkwo has the full story.
Just before 1:30 a.m. on August 27, flames erupted on Fairway Drive near the intersection of Bellamy Road North and Lawrence Avenue East. Emergency crews responded to 3 vehicles engulfed in fire on the residential street. Firefighters from the nearby station arrived within minutes, deploying hoses and foam to suppress the blazes. They managed to bring the flames under control, while Toronto police arrived to secure the scene and launch a suspected arson investigation. Officers are canvassing the neighborhood, gathering witness statements, and reviewing any possible surveillance footage. No injuries have been reported, and the cause remains under investigation. Police have asked anyone with information to come forward, though no further details have been released at this time. Simone Okonkwo, GMNA News, Scarborough.
Providers for youth mental health across Eastern Ontario are preparing for a sharp rise in demand as the new school term begins in September 2026, with families seeking more support. Dev Shouhri has the full story.
Youth mental health providers anticipate a sharp increase in demand as the school term starts in September 2026. One Call One Click, which coordinates services for children and families across Eastern Ontario, says families typically seek help once classrooms are in session. The organization warns providers must prepare for a surge in appointments, counseling sessions, and crisis calls. Seasonal pattern aligns with more children, teenagers, and parents navigating academic pressure, social dynamics, and transition stress. Service coordinators are scaling staffing, extending hours, and bolstering virtual options to meet the expected rise. The focus remains on early intervention and keeping lines of support open as the new school year unfolds. Schools across the region are also partnering with One Call One Click to promote mental wellness resources, and teachers report an uptick in students expressing anxiety about workload. Dev Shohri, GMNA News, Toronto. The Canadian Border Services Agency seized nearly 400 kilograms of cocaine from a truck crossing the Ontario-U.S. border on August 27, 2026, as part of routine inspections. Ainsley Booth has the full story.
CBSA officers halted a semi-tractor trailer crossing the Ontario-U.S. border on August 27, 2026, and uncovered a concealed load of cocaine. The vehicle, a refrigerated box truck, had been flagged by a canine unit before agents opened the trailer. Laboratory testing later confirmed the haul weighed nearly 400 kilograms, making it one of the largest single seizures this season. The drivers were taken into custody, while agents documented the package and the vehicle's paperwork. Officials said the discovery came during a routine inspection, part of the agency's ongoing effort to interdict illicit narcotics moving between the two countries. No injuries were reported, and the seized drugs will be destroyed in accordance with federal protocol. Ainsley Booth, GMNA News, Toronto.
We'll dive into the police hunt after gunfire struck 3 Thorncliffe Park apartments, and more headlines you need to know. We will be right back. Thinking about selling online, most people give up long before they ever get a store open. Quick.com changes that. Pick a template, add your products, and you are open for business. $10 a month, that is the whole price, no setup fees, and no cut of your sales. And there is the 10 on 10 guarantee. If you are not live in 10 minutes, your first month is on us. Mugs, apparel, crafts, coffee, if you can photograph it, you can sell it. Visit quickecom.com and open your store today. 10 minutes from now, you could be in business. I'm Tessa from GMNA Studios.
Welcome back. Toronto police are searching for a vehicle believed linked to gunfire that struck 3 apartment buildings in Thorncliffe Park on August 26. The incident prompted a citywide alert. Simon Okonkwo has the full story.
Police are canvassing Thorncliffe Park after gunfire rattled 3 apartment buildings on the night of August 26. Officers say a vehicle seen near the scene is believed to be linked to the shots, and they're combing the streets for any leads. Neighborhood residents reported hearing multiple bursts and seeing smoke rise from the upper floors of the blocks. The Toronto Police Service has issued an alert urging officers on patrol to keep an eye out for any suspicious cars matching the description. The investigation remains ongoing as detectives work to piece together how the weapon was discharged and why the fire targeted those particular units. Simon Okonkwo, GMNA News, Thorncliffe Park.
Toronto police have charged 8 suspects, 4 adults, 3 teenage girls and 1 teenage boy in a stolen vehicle and firearms investigation stemming from an incident on August 26, 2026. Ainsley Booth has the full story.
Police say 8 individuals have been formally charged after a stolen vehicle probe uncovered illegal firearms. The accused include 4 adults, each between 18 and 20 years old, 3 teenage girls aged 16 to 17, and a teenage boy also 16 to 17. Authorities allege the group was involved in both the theft of a vehicle and possession of prohibited weapons, prompting firearms and theft charges. The investigation, which unfolded in Toronto, led officers to make the arrests on August 26, 2026. Detectives are continuing to trace the origins of the stolen car and the firearms linked to the case. The department confirmed the investigation remains active as officers work to locate any additional weapons and determine the vehicle's final destination. Ainsley Booth, GMNA News, Toronto.
An 18-year-old was struck by a GO train near Monarch Park in Toronto on August 26, 2026 at 10:20 p.m. Police are investigating the incident. Dev Showri has the full story.
18-year-old was struck by a GO train just after 10:20 p.m. on August 26, 2026 in the Monarch Park area of Toronto. Police arrived shortly after the impact and have opened an investigation, treating the incident as a single victim case. Emergency crews worked to secure the tracks and assess the scene while transit officials halted service on the line pending the inquiry. Witnesses reported hearing a loud screech before seeing the train pass the crossing. Officers are gathering statements and reviewing surveillance footage to determine the circumstances that led to the collision. No further injuries have been reported at this time. Dev Showri, GMNA News, Monarch Park.
Advance voting opens today for the provincial by-elections in Scarborough Southwest and York Simcoe, letting eligible voters in 2 ridings cast ballots ahead of Election Day. Simona Okonkwo has the full story.
Advance voting has opened today for the provincial by-elections in the Greater Toronto Area, covering the Scarborough Southwest and York Simcoe ridings. Polling stations across both districts are already set up, allowing eligible residents to drop off their ballots ahead of the official election day. Election officials say the early voting window runs for several days, giving voters a chance to avoid the crowds later. Volunteers are on hand to verify identification and collect the paper votes, which will be sealed and stored until the count. Authorities stress that the process follows the same strict security protocols as standard voting, ensuring each ballot is handled confidentially. The early polls are open right now. Simona Okonkwo, GMNA News, Scarborough.
Ontario's government has started construction on 2 additional railway tracks at Oshawa GO Station near Durham College, expanding the commuter hub serving the Greater Toronto and Hamilton area. Dev Showri has the full story.
Construction crews have broken ground on a 2-track expansion at the Oshawa GO Station, a key commuter hub for GO transit serving the Greater Toronto and Hamilton area. The project, launched by the Ontario government, will add 2 new tracks alongside the existing lines near Durham College. Workers are expected to lay the additional rails over the coming months, aiming to increase capacity and reduce bottlenecks during peak travel times. The station, which connects thousands of riders daily to downtown Toronto and surrounding suburbs, will see its platform layout reconfigured to accommodate the extra tracks. The development marks the latest infrastructure investment in the region's public transit network. Dev Showri, GMNA News, Oshawa.
Let's get a look at your afternoon forecast with our meteorologist coming up next.
A stagnant high-pressure ridge and a gentle southwest keep Toronto dry under bright summer skies. On this date, the all-time high reached 32.4 degrees in 2024, a mark set during a late summer heat wave that pushed daily maxima into the mid-30s across the province. The all-time low, 11.7 degrees recorded in 2025, fell during an anomalous cold snap that followed a strong Arctic front and left the city with frost-like mornings. By contrast, the climatological average high sits near 24 degrees and the average low around 15 degrees, underscoring how today's temperatures sit comfortably between those extremes. The live radar shows a blank canvas across southern Ontario, no rain echoes or snow bands in sight. With the high-pressure ridge anchored over the Great Lakes and the southwest jet streaming aloft at a 65 km per hour, the air mass remains subsiding and moisture-starved. That stable configuration guarantees the next few hours will stay clear, and the map will stay empty until the weekend. With the radar confirmed, let's move to today's outlook. At noon, the city basks under clear skies with a temperature of 21 degrees, humidity hovering near 83%, and a light southerly breeze of 5 km per hour. The air sits beneath a broad high-pressure ridge that has been holding steady for the past day, while the southwest jet aloft at 65 km per hour reinforces subsidence and limits any moisture influx. With that set up, the temperature will climb to 24 degrees by mid-afternoon, then ease to 22 as the sun dips toward sunset. The ultraviolet index registers 6 and wind remains below 25 km per hour throughout. No weather alerts are in effect, so the day stays dry and settled as we head into the evening. Turning now to the 5-day outlook. Friday opens under high pressure with clear skies, a high near 21 degrees and a low of 14. Saturday stays mild but cloud cover increases, holding temperatures around 23 and lows at 14, hinting at moisture. Sunday brings the first rain as a trough lifts a band of showers, overcast skies, a high of 26, low 19, and about 40% chance of precipitation. Monday, the rain persists under continued overcast. Highs remain 26, lows rise to 21, and the probability climbs to 50%. Tuesday offers the warmest spell, high 28, low 21, and a 35% chance of rain, sky mostly overcast. The sequence shifts from dry summer stability to a more active, moisture-laden midweek pattern. And that's your weather. Remember, the lunch break is also available as a podcast. Listen anytime on iHeartRadio or wherever you get your podcasts.
Traffic's light, but you won't want to miss the Blue Jays crushing the Royals, plus our chamber spotlight and more. We will be right back. Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes, the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news.
Line 1 is partially closed north of downtown. Trains terminate at St. George or Union, and a bus bridge runs along Front Street. Expect longer waits and crowded platforms. The work is part of signal upgrades aimed at improving reliability later this year. Parliament Street remains partially closed between Distillery Lane and the railway, leaving one lane each way and adding a few minutes to East End trips. Dundas Street is shut between Carlaw and Logan, diverting traffic onto Carlaw and Danforth. Kensington Avenue is closed from Baldwin to St. Andrew, sending drivers onto Danforth and Queen. In the core, Yorkville Avenue between Hazleton and Bel Air is blocked, and Market Street from Front to the Esplanade is under construction. Those closures push vehicles onto nearby arterials, so expect moderate slowdowns this morning. Drivers heading to the east side will see extra congestion on the Danforth corridor. Traffic should improve this afternoon as crews finish work on the western sections.
Toronto Blue Jays take on Kansas City Royals at Rogers Centre this afternoon, a chance to catch the home team chase a win before the summer heat fades. Tickets are affordable and the stadium buzz is electric. Fan Expo Canada is still buzzing at the Metro Toronto Convention Centre, with comics, sci-fi panels, and celebrity guests, so if you're a pop culture fan, swing by while the crowds are still rolling. It's the biggest pop culture gathering in Canada. Peter Hook and the Light bring Joy Division and New Order classics to History Toronto tonight, a must-see for anyone who loves a good retro rock set. Meanwhile, Music in the Square at Sankofa Square offers a free outdoor vibe with the Honeycomb Band, Rihanna Jones and Michael Carter-Arlt, perfect for a quick lunch break soundtrack. Looking ahead, First Class Fest kicks off tomorrow at Sobeys Stadium, promising a weekend of fresh sounds, so mark your calendar. And now here's Marcus with sports.
Blue Jays fire on all cylinders as the summer stretch heats up. Right fielder Nathan Lukes got drenched in a sport drink after the Blue Jays' 3-0 shutout of the Royals at Rogers Centre, a moment that underscores his rising profile. The splash fuels locker room energy and highlights Toronto's knack for turning big plays into fan fuel. The Blue Jays' bullpen delivered another flawless 3-0 performance, stringing together 6 scoreless innings and cementing its reputation as the team's backbone. With Vladimir Guerrero solidifying his spot in the top of the order, Toronto can rely on late-inning stability while the rotation rests. Lukes rebounded with a 3-run homer that lifted Toronto to a home victory over Kansas City, delivering the offensive spark the lineup had missed. The blast not only secured the win, but also positions Lukes as a clutch option in the right field rotation. Keep watching for more Jays momentum as the season rolls forward.
Thanks, Marcus. Neuropulse, the AI health monitoring startup anchored in the Junction, just closed a $15 million Series A led by Real Ventures with BDC Capital and angel backers on board. The infusion will power a 30-engineer research and development expansion and kick off a pilot manufacturing line right here in the neighborhood. That means new high-skilled jobs for local talent and faster access to affordable wearable health tech across Canada. As Toronto pushes to become a global health tech hub, Neuropulse's growth turns the Junction into a real-world lab for innovation. It's a reminder that homegrown tech can keep our city healthy and our economy thriving. The company is also partnering with local universities and community health centers, ensuring the technology reflects the diverse needs of Toronto residents. Up next, we break down looming Canadian tariffs that could stall subway trains, plus Ford's push on Ontario boards. Stay tuned. Every day, important stories happen across the city before any news crew arrives. Sometimes, the very first person at the story is you. When you witness something newsworthy, open the GMNA Citizen Reporter app and start your report. The app guides you through every step while your report is delivered directly to the GMNA newsroom. Every submission is reviewed by our editorial team, and approved reports may be featured on GMNA. Get the GMNA Citizen Reporter app today at my.gmna.ca. Your city, your news. The Leslieville Beer Fest has turned Dundas Street East between Carlaw and Logan into a bustling street party, with 16 breweries pouring alongside food vendors and local artisans showcasing their wares. Hundreds of locals are gathering to sample craft brews, enjoy live music, and soak up the neighborhood vibe. Carl Dumont is there. Carl Dumont.
Thanks, Jordan Parker. I'm standing on Dundas Street East, the block between Carlaw and Logan, now a pedestrian corridor pulsing with color. It's Saturday, August 27, 2026, and the street is closed from 1 p.m. to 8 p.m., turning the thoroughfare into a festival arena. Strings of amber lights crisscross above rows of wooden pallets turned into tasting stations, each bearing the logo of one of 16 local breweries. The air smells of hops and sizzling street food. A taco truck hisses nearby while an artisan stall displays handcrafted ceramics. People of all ages wander with reusable cups, swapping stories over a sample token, and the crowd swells as families and friends claim their commemorative mug from the ticket booth. The usual traffic hum is replaced by a steady beat of indie music and laughter. Ticket holders paying $40 receive 3 sample tokens, turning the afternoon into a guided tasting adventure. This festival isn't just about beer, it's a showcase of Leslieville's vibrant maker spirit, bringing neighbors together in a shared celebration of local craft. Carl Dumont, virtually at Dundas Street East, between Carlaw Avenue and Logan Avenue.
Welcome back. Ontario's government is weighing a response to potential Canadian tariffs that could hit the autonomous electric trains ordered for the new Ontario Line subway. The move could affect project timelines. Ainsley Booth has the full story.
Ontario officials say the province's order for a fleet of driverless electric trains for the Ontario Line could face new trade barriers. The Ford administration has warned that Ottawa may impose retaliatory tariffs on the self-driving rolling stock, a move that could raise costs for the subway expansion. The trains, slated to run on the new line that will link downtown Toronto to its eastern neighborhoods, were sourced from a foreign supplier under a multi-year contract. Federal sources indicate the tariff threat is tied to broader trade tensions, though details remain sparse. Province and city planners are reviewing the potential impact on the project's budget and schedule as work on the line moves forward. Ainsley Booth, GMNA News, Toronto.
Premier Doug Ford urged Ontario board chairs to cut ties with U.S. firms after a heated exchange with President Donald Trump, and a new poll shows the Progressive Conservatives' approval climbing this month. Ainsley Booth has the full story.
Premier Doug Ford told Ontario's public sector board chairs on Thursday to trim their dependence on American suppliers and contractors, urging a shift toward domestic firms. He made the appeal after a sharp verbal sparring with U.S. President Donald Trump earlier this week, a dispute that has dominated political talk in the province. A fresh poll released this month shows the Progressive Conservative Party enjoying a boost in support, with the Premier's personal approval rating climbing higher than in recent surveys. Analysts say the uptick reflects voters' reaction to the cross-border row. The call comes as Ontario officials navigate growing tension with their southern neighbor over trade and policy issues. Ainsley Booth, GMNA News, Toronto.
Thanks for joining us, Toronto. Tonight's look at the police hunt after gunfire struck 3 Thorncliffe Park apartments reminded us how quickly our neighborhoods can change. I'm Jordan Parker. Tune in tomorrow for more stories that matter to our city. Stay safe and see you then.